Commission to order on January 20th, 2022 at 1:32 p.m. Today, the Commission is assisted by Barb Kunkel, who is acting as the Executive Secretary for the meeting. Ms. Kunkel, please call the roll.
Chair Scripps.
Present.
Commissioner Phillips.
Present.
Commissioner Paratek.
I am not present in person, but I'm observing the meeting remotely.
Mr. Chair, 2 commissioners are present in person, therefore you have a quorum.
Great, thank you, Ms. Kunkel. Today's meeting is being held in person at the Commission's office at 7109 West Saginaw Highway, Lansing, Michigan. We are also hosting this meeting remotely using Microsoft Live Event. It is compatible with all browsers except Safari. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. If you are participating via the live stream, you may also turn on the live captions by clicking on the closed caption or CC button in the lower right corner of the screen. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose the remote connection, the Commission will not recess. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the Commissioners can receive comments via mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. For reference, this email is also included in the Q&A feature on the live stream event on your computer and in the meeting notice. We will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided in the agenda. A few notes about this. Comments should be limited to 1 per person and can be made verbally in person or by calling in or in writing via the live stream Q&A feature. If you are participating via Teams application, you can use the Q&A feature and type your comments in the box anytime during our meeting, and we will have those queued up to read. The Q&A function should be used to submit public comments directed to the Commission. If you would like to make verbal comments, you must do so either in person or by calling into the meeting by phone. To minimize disruptions, attendees participating by phone will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. The first order of business is approval of the agenda for today's meeting, and I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. A slight change today. I move to amend the proposed agenda for today's Commission meeting by adding item 4B8, case number U-21140, in the matter of the application for Alpena Power Company for the approval to its amended renewable energy plan.
I second the motion to amend the proposed agenda. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to amend the proposed agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The motion to amend the proposed agenda is approved. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the amended agenda for today's Commission meeting.
I will second that motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve today's amended agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The amended agenda is approved. The next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the December 22nd, 2021 Commission meeting.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the minutes from the December 22nd, 2021 Commission meeting.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the December 22nd, 2021 Commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The Commission meeting minutes of December 22nd, 2021 are approved. The next item of business on the agenda is the approval of orders and minute actions on the consent agenda, and today the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Caitlin Mucci. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today's consent agenda consists of 10 communications matters and 4 electric matters. The proposed orders and minute actions for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Mucci. I move for the approval of the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The orders and minute actions on the consent agenda are approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4A1 is case number U-21016, which involves the application filed by CenturyLink Communications, LLC, requesting to voluntarily relinquish its eligible telecommunications carrier designation. The order before you grants the request.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21016.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21016 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4A2 is case number U21143, which involves an application filed by CenturyLink Tel Broadband Services, LLC, doing business as CenturyLink Broadband, for a temporary and permanent license to provide basic local exchange service throughout the state of Michigan. The order before you grants the permanent license.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21143.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21143 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4A3 is case number U21144, which involves an application as amended filed by CenturyTel Broadband Services, LLC, doing business as CenturyLink Broadband, for designation as an eligible telecommunications carrier limited to high cost and lifeline support. The order before you grants the application as amended, subject to the conditions set forth in the order.
Thank you. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21144.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21144 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B1 is case number U20165, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company requesting ex parte approval of its Public Utility Regulatory Policies Act of 1978 full avoided cost rates. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20165.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20165 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B2 is case numbers U20500 et al., which involve a complaint filed by S Power Development Company, LLC, against Consumers Energy Company, and an application filed by Consumers Energy Company requesting ex parte approval of amended power purchase agreements with affiliates of S Power Development Company, LLC. The order before you approves the amended power purchase agreements, approves the settlement agreement resolving the complaint, and dismisses the complaint with prejudice.
Thank you. I move for the approval of the order in case numbers U-20500 et al.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case numbers U-20500 et al. is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B3 is case number U20604, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company requesting ex parte approval of a power purchase agreement with Michigan Apple Packers Cooperative Incorporated. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20604.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20604 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B4 is case number U20802, which involves an application as amended filed by Consumers Energy Company for approval of its power supply cost recovery plan for the 12-month period ending December 31st, 2021, and for acceptance of its 5-year forecast. The order before you approves the plan and accepts the forecast.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20802.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20802 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B5 is case number U20876, which involves an application filed by DTE Electric Company requesting approval of a 2-year energy waste reduction plan for the calendar years 2022 to 2023. Staff member Brad Banks will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Chair Scripps, Commissioner Phillips, and Commissioner Paratek. My name is Brad Banks. I work in the Energy Waste Reduction section of the Energy Resources Division. The order before you presents the settlement agreement of the 2022-2023 DTE Electric Energy Waste Reduction Plan. This settlement is closely aligned with the settlement agreement presented in the company's gas EWR plan, case U-20881, which appears later on today's agenda. In this settlement, the DTE EWR personnel work closely with the interveners from the National Housing Trust, the Natural Resources Defense Council, Sierra Club, the Ecology Center, and the Attorney General's Office, as well as Commission staff, to develop and implement new approaches to DTE's EWR programs, specifically as they relate to their low-income customers. I would like to highlight some of those elements of the plan. DTE will offer to its EWR customers participating in their payment stability plan a home energy assessment. DTE will track low-income participation in the PSP, specifically whether single-family or multifamily property, number of customers, geographic distribution, EWR measures recommended and installed, and the number of deferrals that are referred to DTE's health and safety pilot. The health and safety pilot continues from the 2020-2021 EWR plan and will continue its focus on weatherization and EWR measured deferral mitigation efforts. DTE will be providing education and training to its contractors on the use of healthy insulation and air sealing materials. The company will track and report on those materials used with the goal of developing in 2023 pathways to incorporate healthier materials in the 2024 plan. DTE will implement a workforce development initiative that will have an emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Goals of the initiative include providing assistance for training and certifications, promoting practices that recruit on an inclusive contractor network, and bolstering contractor engagement. DTE will throughout work to identify and, when possible, address barriers to success. DTE will engage in geographic targeting and conduct 3 studies that will inform the prioritization of certain census tracts or neighborhoods for EWR assistance. Those studies will be a low-income needs assessment that will seek to identify historic coverage of low-income energy programs, identify gaps in coverage, characterize the eligible population, and consider prioritization scenarios for future program delivery. The company will conduct a residential HVAC, heating, venting, air conditioning detection, and usage intensity scoring research to identify electric heated properties based on its AMI data. Results of the first 2 studies will support the development of a study based on targeted customer, contractor, and community action agency research to develop an implementation strategy for targeting income-eligible households for energy efficiency assistance. Results of this research will be to determine which geographic areas should be targeted and specify how to best select households. Additionally, DTE will conduct post-participation surveys to track and report aggregated demographic data for all participants in their low-income qualified programs with the goal to develop future program targeting resources. Staff would like to take an opportunity to also highlight DTE's openness and flexibility throughout the process. Working with both staff and the engaged and active participation of the intervening parties, the elements of this EWR plan were able to be settled. Staff would also like to point out that DTE's EWR staff, as well as every one of the mentioned interveners in this case, have been and continue to be active participants in the EWR low-income work group. By working together on a variety of issues that have developed in the low-income work group, they have been able to translate that spirit of cooperation and understanding to EWR plan development. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20876.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? Sorry.
No, you're good. I do want to just say a couple of comments. And Mr. Banks already provided a detailed overview of the elements in both this settlement and the related DTE gas EWR plan settlement, we will consider in case U-20881. So I will use my time just to express my gratitude for the hard work and thoughtful collaboration that led to the resolution of both of these cases. First, just thank you to our staff, Brad Banks, Karen Gould, among many others, for your continued efforts related to the establishment and convening of the EWR Low Income Work Group, a collaborative that was kicked off in 2018, so almost 3.5 years ago, to work with stakeholders to collectively identify and address opportunities to reduce the cost of energy and lessen the energy burden on Michigan families and ratepayers. The efforts outlined in these respective EWR plans are a culmination of your genuine and consistent commitment to work with utilities and stakeholders to advance equity, customer affordability, and accessibility to EWR programs and services. And I also would just like to thank, as Brad mentioned, the interveners and stakeholders of the EWR work group for continuing to stick with us and stay engaged in that work group effort, as well as thank DTE for being responsive to the proposals and the needs expressed by the Commission, our staff, and EWR low-income work group stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. I couldn't agree more. I think this work is in some ways a national model of taking a comprehensive approach to energy waste reduction for low-income families and individuals, and more importantly, is making a world of difference in the lives and budgets of those families and individuals. We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20876 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B6 is case number U-20959, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to establish a customer education and participation work group. The order before you extends the deadline of the Customer Education and Participation Work Group's report, summarizing the work group's efforts to date, providing recommendations for the Commission's consideration, and identifying potential next steps from February 25th, 2022 to March 25th, 2022.
Thank you. I move for the approval of the case in approval of the order in case number U-20959.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20959 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B7 is case number U-21165, which involves an application filed by DTE Electric Company seeking ex parte approval to make its experimental demand response resource tariff rider number 20 available to demand response tariff rider number 1.1 and rider 1.2 customers. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21165.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21165 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B8 is case number U-21140, which involves an application filed by Alpena Power Company seeking ex parte approval of an agreement to purchase renewable energy certificates and an amendment to its renewable energy plan. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21140.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21140 is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4C1 is case number U-20881, which involves the application of DTE Gas Company for authority to enact its 2022 to 2023 Energy Waste Reduction Plan. The order before you approves the settlement agreement resolving all issues in the case.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20881.
I second the motion. Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20881 is approved. The next item on our agenda is the announcement of the 2022 regular commission meeting schedule. The commission has planned 21 regular commission meetings for 2022. The next regular commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February 3rd, 2022 at 2:30 p.m. Pursuant to our bylaws, a full list of our remaining commission meetings will be posted to our website shortly after conclusion of today's meeting. We've now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the commission. As mentioned in the notice for today's meeting, we will take public comments in the following order. First, individuals attending in person. Next, written comments from individuals using the Microsoft Teams live stream Q&A. Then verbal comments from individuals submitting names in the Q&A feature who have called into the meeting. And finally, from individuals participating only through the phone option. If anyone attending in person today desires to address the commission, please come to the microphone. We've got a large crowd today, many of whom are wearing purple shirts. We'll get to that in a second, but nobody at this point wants to make a public comment. Now we will turn to the public comments through the remote options. Again, if you would like to make a comment and have access to the Teams live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment, which will then be read aloud to the commissioners. This feature is available on the right-hand side of the control bar next to the mute button. As a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to their comments. After taking any comments through this feature, we will open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the commission verbally. If you want to be queued up for verbal comments, please enter your name in the live stream Q&A feature and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment, but please do not include your written comment as well, as this will avoid duplication. I will first call on these names in the order received, and after hearing from those individuals listed in the Q&A, we will ask if there are any comments from individuals who are on the phone line only, but not utilizing the online Q&A feature. Please note that you can only make verbal comments by calling into the meeting. When it is your turn to speak, press *6 on your phone to unmute. As a reminder, this public comment period is for commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you're willing to share that information so that we have it for our records. And please limit comments to one per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes, so we have a chance to hear from all who would like to comment. At this point, we will turn to the Q&A feature. I believe, Ms. Cole, you're again assisting with this part of the meeting from inside the building, though, this time. Do we have anybody who's entered comments in the Q&A feature?
Chair Scripps, there are no written comments in the Q&A feature. However, we do have a request from Miss Jacqueline Holst to make a verbal comment, and Ms. Holst, you will need to call in.
Ms. Holst, are you dialed into the meeting at this point?
She has messaged asking if she needs to call in, and I have replied yes, so we may want to give her a moment.
I will do that. And Ms. Holst, if you can hear me, the dial-in number, oh, I see somebody has dialed in and may be ready to speak. Is that you, Ms. Holst? You may need to press *6 to unmute. Give you a second. If you can hear me and haven't yet dialed in, the dial-in number is 248-509-0316, and the conference ID that you'll have to enter is 402-756-428, and then the pound sign. Ms. Holst, are you there? We'll give this another minute or two. I'm sure we can work through this. And again, if you're on and are talking, we can't hear you, so you'll have to press *6 to unmute your phone. Okay, thank you. Ms. Holster, have you been able to join us yet? Again, that dial-in information is 248-509-0316, and the conference ID is 402-756-428 pound.
Ms. Holst has written that she is trying to call in right now.
Aha, we have somebody who's joins the meeting.
Can you hear me?
We can. Go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your
Commissioners.
patience.
Apologies for the delay there. So my name is Jacqueline Hulse. The reason for my call today is I recently had experience trying to get a waiver from Consumers Energy, and I would like to request an administrative rule change. So I was told via the phone in your office, via email, to do that I would need to make a public comment. So Michigan Admin Code R460.3411, specifically number 12, and one specific word. If we would change, if the commissioner would approve a change of may to must, that would allow consumers actual customer choice. We would be able then, if we have a local provider, shop local, that would help with the 3,000 waiting list that's currently trying to get into the customer choice that you have, and allow consumers that choice. So I appreciate your time today, commissioners, and hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much for that, Ms. Hulse. Ms. Cole, do we have any others who have indicated an interest in making public comment who have registered through the Q&A feature?
None at this time.
Okay. Do we have anybody who is dialed into the meeting only who would like to make a public comment at this time? And again, *6 if you find yourself unmuted. I said that wrong. *6 to unmute yourself if you find yourself muted.
Chair Scripps, this is Laura Chappelle. If you can hear me, and I'm sorry.
We can.
Actually, I'll hold my comment for actually later in the meeting. Let me hold my comment for now. But eventually, I would like to make a couple comments. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Chair Emeritus Chappelle. Okay, we'll at this point close the public comment period. A few announcements. As I previously mentioned, the next regular commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February 3, 2022 at 2:30 p.m. Please note the later time, which is a departure from our usual 1:30 p.m. start. In addition, I want to draw your attention to the fact that the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy last Friday submitted the draft My Healthy Climate Plan to Governor Whitmer. It was built on the work of the Council on Climate Solutions over the last year. I particularly want to recognize Commissioner Paratek for her leadership in co-chairing the energy production, transmission, distribution, and storage work group, and Karen Gould, who is the manager of our energy waste reduction section, for her leadership in co-chairing the buildings and housing work group, 2 of the 6 work groups of the council. And Commissioner Phillips, I know your work through the Michigan Council on Future Mobility and Electrification played an important role in helping to form the recommendations from that council that were considered by the Council on Climate Solutions, particularly in relation to our transportation work. This is now available online at michigan.gov/climate. Again, it's a draft plan, and the plan is now to take input from the public. There are 2 public listening sessions, the first being held on January 26th from 10 a.m. to noon, and the second on February 8th from 6 to 8 p.m., all times Eastern Time. And there's more information about how to participate in those public listening sessions on the website, again, michigan.gov/climate. We have our next Council on Climate Solutions meeting on February 22nd from 1 to 3 p.m. That again is open to the public for observation. And the idea is that in collecting comments from the public listening sessions and also comments that can be submitted by email, again, more information on how to do so on the website michigan.gov/climate, is for the final plan to be submitted to Governor Whitmer in March, and then of course on to implementation. So a fair amount of work that's gone in, a lot of staff who participated in the work groups and other council activities, and now it's the opportunity for the public to have their say, and we'd love to hear from you. I also wanted to note that the commission has hired Shatina Jones to be our first ever Equity and Inclusion Officer. Shatina ably chaired the effort over the last year and a half as we started to stand up a staff-driven effort in focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion, in addition to a whole host of folks from across the commission. And her leadership in that really gave us confidence that she was the right person to help take our efforts in this regard, both internally as an organization and externally as a regulator of critical infrastructure that too often bears the scars of historic injustice, to the next level. So we're excited to have Shatina Jones in place. She started at the beginning of this year, and look forward to working closely with her. Any announcements from you, Commissioner?
I do have one additional announcement to make, and congratulate Shatina Jones on her new role. But just on behalf of the entire MPSC organization, I would just like to give our condolences and well wishes to the family of Amy Butler, who passed away earlier this month. I, along with many here at the commission, had the pleasure to work with Amy during her time at the Michigan Energy Office, and over the past 3+ years as the first sustainability director at Michigan State University. Ms. Butler's leadership and genuine passion for collaborating with students, colleagues, and the surrounding community helped the university continue to emerge as a national leader in campus sustainability, both throughout the university's energy, water, and transportation infrastructure, as well as in the classroom. I know that we will all individually and collectively as an organization continue to build upon Ms. Butler's long list of contributions to Michigan's energy and sustainability future through our continued work and the work that we do here at the commission every day. So thank you, Chair, for allowing me the opportunity to give our condolences.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. She's going to be missed. After we have adjourned today's meeting, there will be 2 presentations honoring retiring longtime members of the commission staff. So we'll keep the telephone line open for those interested in listening, and there's also going to be an opportunity to speak in recognition of these retirees. With that, we'll conclude today's meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Phillips?
I motion to adjourn today's commission meeting.
I second that motion. We will now have a vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.